Welcome to Season 2, Episode 16 of the Microphone Insider Live Video Podcast, hosted by Jim Trunk and Rebecca Lee. Sitting in for Rebecca tonight is Terry Griffin, and as always, we're joined by the tech man himself, Mike Cunningham. Our guest this evening is none other than Marc Scott, who is actor, coach, and the entrepreneurial engine behind the VOprenuer podcast and the E16 for marketing people. So, grab a drink, get comfy, and welcome to Inside.
All right. Hey, Terry, something happened to your microphone during that. Talk again if you would.
There was music playing all over it.
Yeah, there was a
little
loud.
But you're breaking up, though.
It was a little loud.
Am I breaking up?
You were.
That's what happens when things are like 6,000.
That sounded like an echo cancellation thing.
It probably is, because I had the sound effects were down to like 30%. So I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's do it again and see what happens. Hold on a second. Here we go. You ready?
God.
All right, here we go again. It's the Microphone Insider Season 2, Episode
Yeah, okay.
6.
It's definitely some kind of echo cancellation going on. We got to figure that out sometime, because that music was down soft. Anyhow, welcome to the Inside, Microphone Insider, Season 2, Episode, 16 we're on right now. Sorry we couldn't make it last week. Had some technical difficulties and things happening, so we're back this week. We'll get Christy Harst back on at some point. Only having every other week and being booked now through August makes it kind of tough to squeeze people in. But we do get, cancellations now and then. So pretty excited about that. Tony's with us again. What's up, Insiders? You're an excellent guest. Tony. Yeah, I want you guys to have your questions ready, because people that I talk to are always complaining about marketing. And I'm one of them. I mean, it's the crutch that we don't like to use sometimes. Most of us want to just get in the booth and just start talking and start making greenbacks, but it doesn't happen that way. You have to get the auditions and get the gigs, and Marc Scott has pretty much cornered the market on, his name's right in it, marketing. I mean, think about this. It'd be like Terry being like a terry cloth towel or something like that. The name's right in it, Mike.
Wow.
Well, being a microphone, like Frank, being a shithead, whatever, it's all good.
This is true.
All right, listen, before we get to our normal stuff here, I just want to just roll through a few of these things. Molly the Rock. Carol Cahill, by the way, check out her brand new website, carolcahill.com. It's kind of a 70s throwback. It's actually kind of cool. Definitely check it out. We just finished that, just this week, Carol, I think. Lots of fun building that. All right, listen, guys, coming up, here we are, almost June. Coming up in August, halfway through August, we have, One Voice, I think, is coming. Fortunately, all three of us have been nominated for One Voice Awards. Some of us for 2.
Not me.
No, but that's okay, buddy. It's okay. Next year. So Rebecca Lee, I think Rebecca has one too, doesn't she? But
there's always 3 of us are involved in this particular thing, and then there's one person that's left out who's substandard in some way.
Oh yeah, that's when we play that game. One of these things is not like the other. Yeah, okay.
And certainly not even close in quality. It's just honestly, it's sad. I love you.
I'm kind of vexed by your comments there, Michael. But either way, if OVC is coming, you know what's coming up with us. That's right, 2025. Excited for this, guys.
Yes.
The 2025 TMI OVC Scholarship. I believe we should have an applause for that. What do you think? There we go.
Soft clap, soft clap.
So basically, don't go running to the website yet, because I've had a crazy week. I've been busy building websites and doing VO crap and stuff, not crap. We'll say stuff. I haven't put it up there yet, but I will make an announcement on our Facebook page and on LinkedIn probably sometime tomorrow. Let's just say 2 o'clock tomorrow, Eastern time. You'll be able to go to the microphoneinsider.com and fill out the form to the application for the One Voice Scholarship Award from TMI. It's not solely based on economic. It's not solely based on experience. It's not solely based on anything. So every level of voice artist can apply for this. We have independent judges. I want nothing to do with it. I don't want it to come back to me at all that I had any say as to who. Hey, Mike, Terry, congratulations. You guys are going to One Voice. How's that? Would that work?
Great. We win.
You win. Cool. But not so much. So we'll start that probably on tomorrow around 2 o'clock. But I will make an announcement. And if you're part of the TMI email club, I will send you out a email club. Wow, that's so radio. I'll send you
Email club.
So radio. I'll send out an email tomorrow or when we have it officially live with a link as well. So stay tuned for that. Couple other housekeeping notes. It's been a while, so I do want to throw this up here. We've got the ladies. Rebecca Lee couldn't be with us, but we've got the ladies coming up for our workshops. As you know, we try to only do a couple per year. Usually stop sometime around September because of the holidays. 100% of the money that we raise on these workshops goes to funding the show, goes to buying tickets to One Voice to give away, to VOA to give away, gear, stuff that we do throughout the year in giveaways. And at the end of the year, any balance we have left from these events, we donate directly to NAVA, to whatever relief fund they have going on. This past year, I think we only had about $135 left, but it's $135 that we, tossed onto NAVA. So go to the website, microphoneinsider.com, and get in on this. We have Malik Berger and Kristen Paiva. I mean, choose your animation, do them both. I mean, it's two completely different people giving you different visions. If you're into animation, this is a no-brainer. And Jessica Blue. We were supposed to have her back in April, but we had to change things up, so she's back. And tickets are only $139 to participate, and I think $45 for auditor. Of course, our guest, Marc, you'd probably have to pay about $850 Canadian and about $310 for the auditor, just because of the conversion rate. What do I know? All right, so with that being said, let's get things rolling here. So, show of hands. Should we go with Terry first or Mike first?
Terry first.
Terry first? Get it out of the way? All right, here we go.
If Terry can cook it, you can too. His friends are his
love
reason
this.
to bring food to you.
As you should.
Chef Briscoe Power, bringing dinner to yours and mine.
It's the worst thing on earth.
Still the best theme song in the world.
Something was missing in my life, and I realized now 2 weeks ago, we did not have this show. It's been almost a month since we've heard that song. So much, you know what? I think we should hear it one more time, Terry. What do you think?
Oh, God.
No, Terry? Terry, your call, buddy. Okay, yes? Sure.
If Terry can cook it, you can too. His
one
friends
asked
are
for
his
this.
reason to bring food to you. Chef Briscoe Power,
God.
bringing dinner to yours and mine.
All right. After hearing that, you're going to need this drink. Today's recipe, the lime-made margarita. All right. Ingredients was short, sweet, and simple, and deliciously refreshing for those grilling days when you're outside in the heat. Limeade margarita. Your ingredients: you need 1 shot of silver tequila, 1 shot of orange liqueur, 1 shot of limeade, 1 fresh lime, and salt for the rim. You just want to add all those ingredients to a shaker and shake it for 1 minute. Dance around a little bit. Dip that rim of that glass in the salt. Pour over ice. Garnish with a lime twist, and you got this refreshing, beautiful thing right here.
There it is. All right. And Terry actually requested this time to make sure that we kept the instructions up so we could read through this one. But I think you could have done this blindfolded, Terry, you think?
I don't think so. My memory's really bad.
All right, fair enough. well, with that being said.
I'll try it.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, ready?
Please.
No,
Jesus.
Go ahead, Mike. Ready? Go. You want to play the game?
Go
ahead.
What? Play the game blindfolded?
Yeah.
I can't do that. No, nobody wants to see that. I would need to have all of the ingredients. Actually, I would try it, but I'm not going to do that right now. I don't have it. Anyway, hi. Yes, technology. So let's talk about that. Here, we'll start with my weekly lecture on AI stuff. If you are participating in anything, lectures. If you're doing anything online and you're putting it out there in social media and you're casting something or involved in something or trying to promote something and you're a voice actor and the things that you're using to promote it are basically just AI images or AI video of the thing that you're promoting, it is not the greatest look for a lot of the people that are online, and it has caused some strife in the technology world. So just be aware of that kind of stuff. I don't want to have anybody get yelled at by random people online because they did something that would be considered potentially uncouth. Anyway, lecture over. The technology stuff that I had this week is actually, I was talking to Terry about this the other day. Electric standing desks are amazing. And there are a lot of them that are fairly cheap on Amazon. And I found one in particular that I got over Memorial Day. Unfortunately, we didn't have the show prior to Memorial Day, so the sales are kind of over for that. But I did find a decent price on it again. They make a big difference in being able to kind of like not have as much junk hanging around all over here, so you can stand up and perform, or at least have a full-size monitor at eye level. So like if as I'm talking here, if I just happen to, my entire field of vision gets removed from me as the AI lens gets out of the way, it's just raising, and this is technology in action. Also, as I stand up, the Mac Mini is on sale on Amazon again for $500. I would highly recommend getting that if you're looking for a new computer, especially if you're into the Mac ecosystem. It is really worth it. The other cool thing that I found was that the Logitech MX Keys full-size keyboard and a combo with one of the Logitech MX Anywhere 2 mice is on sale at Costco for $100. That is a really, really nice keyboard, and it does not make a ton of sound. And I need stuff like that because I have big sausage fingers and I smash my keyboard with the rage of 1,000 IT guys all the time. So it's really loud when I'm in workshops. It's bad. Terry's been like, I can hear you typing from here. What the hell?
Dude, I don't know who's louder typing, you or Terry sometimes.
It's bad, right?
I mean...
Well, anyway, it's a really nice keyboard that happens to be a membrane keyboard, so it doesn't make like the huge ka-chink, ka-chink sound all the time. I have 2 of them or so. I keep one at work. I keep one here for outside of my in my office and whatnot, because I used to really like mechanical keyboards until I started recording stuff all the time. Anyway, that's really kind of all I found that is super interesting. There's a couple good deals on monitors, but I'm still combing through that, so maybe we'll have something for monitors next week. But yes, keep your nose clean. Don't share AI stolen image art for stuff that you're trying to do as an artist. It is a magnet for people to get very mad at you online. I didn't do it.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, guys, get your questions in. Write them down in the chat. Remember, put a question in front of the word question or a Q or something, so we know that it is a question through all the fodder that happens, all the back and forth going on. So Molly's here, like I said. Ann's joining us as well.
Annie.
Yeah. Who's Big B?
Big B's here every single show.
Is he? I've never seen Big B. All right. He hasn't commented, has he?
Yeah, seriously. Every week. What are you talking about, Jim?
Hey, I'm busy running the shit here, okay? I don't see everybody's name, but...
I'm busy here.
Does Big B ask questions or just make comments about, I ain't shaking no shit. I'm just going to pour it and drink it. Big B just
I don't
pours it in his mouth and just goes and swallows.
What you don't
That's
know
all.
is that Big B is actually, Big Briscoe. It's his alter ego. He's
Is
just
it
typing
really?
that stuff in there?
Sounds
It
about
might
right.
be.
God, it's bad enough with his Mambo sauce. Now he's got nicknames too. Gosh. Either way, listen, guys, we have a great guest for you today. He puts the mark in marketing. Terry, you have a official intro for our guest by any chance?
Of course I do.
All right, well, let's see what happens.
All right. Well, everybody, tonight's guest is a seasoned voice actor, business coach, and the founder of the VOprenuer, a trusted resource for voice actors looking to build sustainable six-figure businesses. He's coached talents from around the world, hosts the Everyday VOpreneur podcast, and has built a loyal following through his courses, YouTube content, and social media insights. From his no-fluff advice on business and marketing to real-world tools that help voice actors turn talent into thriving careers, he brings the heat and the heart every time he shows up. Let's welcome to the show our guest, Marc.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not the right one. God dang it. I screwed that
No.
one up. There we go. Boom. There we go.
There
Hey,
he
Mark, what's
is.
happening? Let's back up
Terry,
on
if
this
you ever
intro.
get tired of this and you want to come be on a real show and be my voice guy on a real show, hey,
Hey,
Real show.
Whoa. All right. You know what? Well, that's our show tonight, guys. Thanks for
That's the
hanging
goal.
out. We'll be back next Thursday with a brand new guest about marketing.
oh man,
Actually,
you guys
before
are
we
crazy.
get there, though, there was a couple things in your intro that we need to address here, Terry. He brings the heat, and he also cooks on it.
That's the point.
We'll talk
Jim.
about okay, but what about the fact that
Cooks.
what about the fact that he has probably the most patient man in Canada dealing with questions from Terry Briscoe every Friday at 1 p.m.
I don't think anybody's ever asked more questions in the history of YouTube than Terry Briscoe. It's so
No.
true.
Wait. For you, yes. For me, it's Steve Ward.
Okay,
Steve
okay.
Ward. Yeah.
So it's like a flip-flop. The Canadian asking questions to the American and the American asking questions to the Canadian.
I'll tell you what, Mark, I'll keep Terry on our side. You take care of Steve, and maybe we can both get through this together.
Terry gets on the live stream, and it's like sometimes I think he's just trying to find ways to get other people off the stream so he can ask more questions.
Terry just wants more people to hear his voice. That's all that is. So if you guys
If I
have any
talked
questions,
like that, I would too.
Big B's here for the humor. That's good to know. Rachel's joining us as well. Rochelle, Shelly, good to have you here. I call her Rachel. I know it's Rochelle, but if you guys have any questions for Mark, please, by all means, put them in our chat, and we will ask Mark, get your questions answered. Mark, tell us a bit about, I want to venture to say that most people know who you are and what you do, but give us your elevator pitch.
I teach marketing.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And
Awesome.
that's our show tonight, guys.
You too
Clarity.
can be a voice actor.
It's
Wow.
all about clarity of message. See, if I try to make it sound too fancy, you won't be able to remember it, but everybody will be able to walk away remembering Mark Scott. That's the guy that teaches marketing. See? Clarify your message.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah. The only thing Jim has clarified is the 90s sound effects board that we're now using apparently
I'm
on
here
this
for
show.
I'm here for it.
What else we have on this? It's whatever comes with this thing. Hold on. Mike, thanks for your opinion. It was appreciated by all.
Not the crickets.
And now for our fifth caller, we'll be giving away.
Yes.
Mark.
Caller, are you there? Caller. Once again, put your questions in the comment. Let us know. Mark, what is the biggest, I don't want to say misconception about marketing, but I want to say misconception about the follow-up email. Because a lot of people just including myself, feel weird about re-bothering somebody. I hear from other people, from clients and from other VOs that deal with clients. You hear Mike typing? You hear that? So
You
loud.
do, you do.
So
can't you?
loud.
It's. I'm even
so-
using. I'm not even. I'm
I've
you know what it
literally
is?
never
I'm not
heard
using the
that
right
before.
Keyboard. I'm using this.
Like,
It's
I don't think I've ever heard that ever on anything ever before. And maybe it's just because I was never conscious of it before. But
Yeah.
now that you guys have
Dude,
brought attention to it, like
it's
I can
crazy.
absolutely hear it clicking.
now
in my
you'll
ear.
never not hear it, Mark. So when it comes to the
It's
follow-up
bad.
email, are we being more of a pain in the ass to our clients, or are we actually putting a service out there reminding them that we're still here?
Yes or yes. I think it depends on what you put in the follow-up. I think if you're not following up in the right way, then yeah, you can come across as a pain and you can come across as annoying. But I think if you're following up in the right way, then you are absolutely adding value to them. And so I think that it can go either way. But I think the biggest misconception is that no matter what we do, it's going to be annoying. And so then that's why nobody does it. And the reality is that that's probably why your marketing isn't working for you, because how many times have you seen something or interacted with something one time for 30 seconds, however long it takes you to read that intro email, right?
Mhm.
And then that thing has stuck with you forever and always after that. And you always remember and you always go back to it and you always use it over and over and over again. Like, it takes more than one time. It takes more than one time. And so
That's a good
if
point.
we're not doing that follow-up, I mean, they're not remembering us. And so I think it's an essential part of the business. I gave an example. I did a class in Vancouver a couple of weeks ago. And I said, how many of you have looked at something on the internet before? You go on Amazon and you look at something and you only look at it for 5 seconds. But for the next 2 weeks, every single time you log on to any website on the whole World Wide Web, there is an ad for that thing that you looked at on Amazon one time
Exactly.
for 5 seconds. We've all been there, right? And at least a percentage of us at some point have ultimately bought that thing. And we bought it because it just kept showing up in front of our face, and we thought about it a little bit more, and then it showed up in front of our face again. And after we're exposed to it enough times, we finally managed to convince ourselves that this is something that we need, and we go out and we buy it. If that didn't work, Amazon wouldn't be spending a gazillion dollars on retargeting ads. That works. That's follow-up.
Makes sense.
So let me ask you this. Recently, when I've been getting ads myself have been landing in my email, I have been responding to them. Like, I don't really need your services because I'm a renter and I don't need a house painter. However, I can help you with your own marketing outreach. How do you feel about return marketing to the people who are marketing?
Every once in a while, I respond with assistance and sometimes with sarcasm. And usually the response of assistance or sarcasm has a lot to do with the effort that was put into the initial outreach in the first place. So, case in point, I get marketed to at least 6 to 10 times a week. I have somebody send me a marketing email to be on my podcast, not a voice actor. Every one of those emails is almost identical in that it says, hey, I've listened to every episode of the Everyday VOprenuer podcast, and I particularly loved, and then it inserts the title of the most recent episode. So they think that they're being really smart and witty by saying, I've listened to every episode of the show, and then they mention the actual show name, and then they mention an actual episode name. And then the most recent one that I got, it was 2 days ago, was like multi-million-dollar real estate broker, and who's been on some real estate show a couple of times on HGTV. And so he would be the absolute perfect guest for my show to help my audience understand more about, you know, buying and selling a home. And so in that instance, I may respond with something like, actually not may, in that instance, I did respond with something like, hey man, I really appreciate the offer. Thank you so much for listening. I host a voiceover podcast where I interview voice actors about voice acting, and I'm just really not sure that I can bring any value to your audience. And so there's sarcasm. There's definitely a little bit of sarcasm in there, but also hopefully trying to drive the point home. But at the same time, I've had people reach out to me in the past with marketing emails, and they've put in a genuine effort. I feel like they've put in a genuine effort. And there's been a couple of times where I've actually written back and said, hey, look, I appreciate what you're trying to do here, and don't take offense to this. I do teach marketing, and I teach email marketing. I redrafted your email, and I wanted you to see what I did and explain why I did it. And if you want to use this going forward, you might get some better results. And so sometimes I do that too.
That's a pretty cool response, actually.
So Andy Parker says he's not being annoying; he's being Amazon.
That's right. And I mean, Amazon's doing all right, right? They're worth some money.
They're coming up.
They're doing all right.
I think they'll hang in there for a little while.
Now, as a voice actor, Mark, let's get off the marketing just for a second. As a voice actor, A, what's your favorite genre, and B, what is I'm going to say the one gig that stands out as being the wow gig to you? Do you have that?
Oh, do I have a wow gig?
We'll be back right after these messages with Mark Scott's answer.
I don't know that I actually have a wow gig because most of the stuff that I do is pretty stinking boring, actually. It's a lot of non-broadcast and a lot of e-learning and all of that sort of stuff. So I did get to do, actually, I did a show last year. So my dream genre is documentary, right? I'm not chasing AAA video games or, Super Bowl ads or whatever. Not that I would say no to a Super Bowl ad, of course, but my dream genre is documentary. And I've been trying really hard to get into that documentary space, which is apparently much more difficult than I ever realized that it was. I worked with Tom Pinto for a year on coaching for it, produced a demo with Tom and with Uncle Roy. It got nominated for a Sovis Award. So, I know I've got a good demo, but I've just really, really struggled with that genre. And last year I did actually get to do a single episode of a series, which was really fun. I was like, okay, finally, the first one. Just enough to tease me, basically. But that was probably one of the coolest gigs for me, just because it was like, finally, I got that genre that I was looking for. But at the same time, it's like, I haven't got anything in that genre since. And so it was a little bit of a tease too.
Have you tried marketing the documentary people?
It's true.
I've heard about this.
I'm trying to find somebody who can help me with that. And if I could,
David Attenborough, you should email him.
Yeah, I feel like that. What I want to do actually now is I'm gonna get Terry to record some sort of intro video for me for my documentary reel, and I'm gonna use him when I send, because he gave such a great intro, and so I feel like if I could just get him to make the introduction, get people's attention.
Yeah, that's not going to happen, Mark. We have Terry on lock for the next 5 years. So 5 season lock with Terry, so that ain't happening, my friend.
Yep. Dang it.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Don't make me pull out the big guns. There's no compete.
Come on, Terry. I can lure you with barbecue, Terry. Come on.
He's got mambo sauce. He's good. Tony had a question for you. If you had to start from scratch today, Mark, how would you do it?
If I had
as
to
far
start
as marketing,
from scratch,
I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, I would start out not sucking as bad as I did in the beginning, because I sucked pretty bad at marketing in the very beginning. I came in a really interesting time, actually. So I want to say it was probably like 2009, 10, 11, somewhere in that area, maybe a little sooner than that, when casting sites were still good. And they weren't completely algorithm driven, and they weren't owned by evil empires, and they weren't triple dipping you for every stinking dime that they could possibly get out of you. And so I really do feel like I had a little bit of good fortune there from a timing standpoint. And then I was able to do some stuff on online casting while I was trying to figure all of this stuff out, because I did not have a clue, and no agents or anything like that. And so the online casting was able to, put food on the table for a period while I was trying to figure this all out. Man, I don't know if it can do that for a lot of people anymore. I mean, it might get you a couple of boxes of craft dinner to get you through the year, but that's like, it feels like the online casting game has changed so much. It's so much harder. The competition level is obviously a lot higher. The rules have changed. The rates, continue to race towards the bottom. And so I'm grateful, genuinely grateful that I started when I did. And I would also say that at the time that I was doing all of this, I was a single guy, and I never take that for granted that I did not have a wife. I did not have kids. Like, I literally had 24 hours a day to just devote to my business, because I was also a hermit, basically. So I had no life. I didn't leave my apartment. I just sat there all day and sent marketing emails. Like, genuinely, that's what I did. And if I was starting today, it would be a lot harder. And I admit that it would be a lot harder, because I don't feel like online casting would work to my advantage the same way. I do have a wife and 4 kids, and that is somewhat time consuming, and drawing on my energy a little bit.
I'll say.
But with all that being said, there's so much more access to information that did not exist when I was getting started. And one of the podcasters that I enjoy listening to is Cody Sanchez. She's kind of become an influencer in the small business space. Does some brilliant podcasts, has some brilliant guests. And I was listening to an episode of hers a month or 2 ago, and she made this comment about buying someone's 10,000 hours. And so if you're not familiar with it, Malcolm Gladwell has this theory that it takes 10,000 hours to become a master at something, right? So if you want to just be the best at whatever the thing is that you want to do, it takes 10,000 hours of practice and training and whatever to get yourself to that point. And so Cody's point was, go buy someone's 10,000 hours. Wow. And so that's where today, having the ability to make an investment with who's the best coach in that genre, go make the investment there. Who's the best demo producer in that genre? Who's got the trophy case with all the trophies in that genre? Go buy that person's 10,000 hours to get your demo done. Buy that coach's 10,000 hours to get yourself trained up. Buy the program that's going to teach you how to use the social media platform that you want to use. Like, whatever it is, buying someone else's 10,000 hours. And, easier said than done, right? You got to have the money to be able to do it. But at the same time, it could be the difference between you struggling for the next 3 or 4 years, or spending the next year doing things the right way and having something really solid to show for it on the other side of that. And so that's one area. If I was starting out today, I would be much quicker about finding the experts that I can learn from, rather than spending countless hours trying to figure it out on my own for free, because my time has value too.
10,000 hours. I did the math. It's 250 weeks, which is just a month or two shy of 5 years, working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's it. So I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. So if I can buy it from somebody else,
journeyman right now.
Yeah.
So what did we have? What did we have on the what was the raffle for? What time the Dr. Pepper would make the appearance?
Oh,
it's been there from the very beginning. Come on.
Dude,
I don't know. I'm sitting there watching Terry mix this recipe, and I'm like, what the crap are you mixing this recipe for? Dude, just give me the beauty shot right here, and there, I can cook too.
We should have a cook-off sometime here. Here we
There
go.
are 23 flavors involved in that, Terry. How about yours?
Yeah. How many flavors are in your mambo sauce, Terry?
You'll never find out, my friend.
Let's talk about your playbook. This is something that I did purchase when I first started, and I frequent back at it to refresh and find out new information and things. Give us the elevator pitch on that if people don't know what it is.
It's my 10,000 hours. And,
Boom, you can buy it.
But in all seriousness, that was the result. So 2016, I think it was 2016 when the first iteration of Playbook came out. So I had been full-time in voiceover for 4 years at that point. And I had gone from nothing to a 6-figure business. And I did it by doing all the things that I taught in Playbook. I just didn't realize it at the time. So it was when I sat down and looked back and was like, how can I take all this stuff, through podcasts, through blogs, through community college courses, through conferences that I was going to, like marketing conferences, all of that. How can I take those 4 years and condense that into a resource that another voice actor could buy, have all of the necessary information with none of the crap that they don't need. And instead of 4 years, maybe it's eight hours, or, they got to invest a week of their life to learn it.
Right.
So that was literally where it came from. And so basically it's my 10,000 hours put into a marketing class. And then I've just continued to update it over time because I haven't stopped learning either. And trends come and go, and the way things work change. Social media platforms change their algorithms more frequently than some of us change our underwear. You got to keep up with that if you're going to make it work. And so that's what Playbook is. It's all the stuff that you need to know about marketing with none of the stuff that you don't.
Fair enough. Terry, you had a question from Mark.
Nice.
Yeah, I enjoyed your series of documentary style posts that you did on LinkedIn. How did you choose the subjects for them? Fire Rain was the best one, by the way.
I chose, I started with things that I was interested in. And so I'm a bit of a weather nerd. I'm a bit of an extreme weather nerd. If there's a series or a documentary or something like that on, whether it's Netflix or Amazon or PBS or whatever, that has anything to do with weather or extreme weather, I'm probably watching that. And so
But
that
chasing,
was one of the reasons. What's that?
But no storm chasing, though, right?
I would have tried it when I was single. I don't know that my wife would let me go now, but I would have been totally game for it when I was single. But so I started just with some of the subjects that are of interest to me, and I'm trying to think of, what are some cool stories that can be told in 60 seconds, some interesting, science facts or nature facts or whatever. And so right now I will tell you, it is all experimentation. I'm trying some documentary stuff I've got a handful of genres or niches, we'll call it, that I'm drawing from. And then there will come a point where I will sit down and I will say, okay, I've got, 20 or 30 of these under my belt. Here are the best performing ones. And here's the common theme. And now let's dig into those ones, and the ones that didn't perform, let's kind of move past those. So it's partly that. And then it is also partly just trying to find different types of stories that allow me to show different types of range. So this is these documentary shorts that Terry's talking about. Like, this is one of my marketing strategies for the documentary genre. Is let's create a whole bunch of content. Let's create consistent content over a long period of time. Put it out on all the various and assorted social media platforms, and let it be a demonstration of what I am capable of, and hope that as I continue to share it, and more eyes continue to be drawn to it, some of those people are going to be buyers. That's literally the hope.
All right, let's talk barbecue now.
He got really serious there. He's like, I don't want this voiceover crap.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever.
We need to talk
but
about
then when you get the
meats.
lean
Come
in,
on.
let's talk barbecue.
Let's talk barbecue. Let's get close. Let's get personal, Mark. You and I. Let's talk about smoking.
Let me change my
besides
microphone
marijuana.
up to my 416.
There you
I
go.
want to sound deeper and
There
sexier
you
when I
go.
talk
Sit
about
back
barbecue.
a little bit when you talk too. We talk about VO all the time. So let's talk about
Anybody can do that.
Let's talk about barbecue. Terry, you're the barbecue master, so you say.
I mean, the proof's in the pudding, buddy.
Mark, how many times have you barbecued or smoked pudding?
I would tell you that has never occurred to me to even try that.
Wait, are you talking about like blood sausage or like American pudding, Jim?
Like
I don't know.
JELLO?
We're talking.
Yeah.
Terry said the proof is in the pudding. I don't understand.
I'm actually curious though. I mean, think about it. Like like a blood sausage pudding smoked might be.
I mean, that might be
interesting-
actually pretty good.
It might be kind of good actually.
And it's interesting though, Jim. You can make a cake on the grill.
I have
yeah.
made a cheesecake. I've done a cheesecake in a smoker.
I've made brownies, cupcakes, and pizza. I mean, yeah, you can do that on a
You
grill.
had the brownies.
Cheesecake?
Cheesecake. Yeah.
Did you
Cheesecake
smoke the
in a
cheesecake,
smoker.
or is like how does that work?
a cheesecake on a smoker, if you've got the right smoker, you can turn the heat up on it. So it doesn't get infused with a ton of smoke flavor, because obviously the higher the temperature that the smoker burns at, the less smoke that infuses. But you still get a little hint of it. And it was actually quite tasty.
I'm trying to even think of what that would taste like.
I'm going to grab myself.
Okay. Smoke.
Now I got to put some pudding on my grill.
That is going to be just a mess to clean up. And
Brandon, put away the snack packs.
Get a skillet. Get yourself a skillet.
Grab yourself a snack pack and a small spoon and just enjoy it, Brandon.
I mean, like, you put it in a cast iron. I guess you could put it in a smoker. So
Hunts or Jello pudding? Which one?
Dr. Pepper flavored. Smoked Dr. Pepper flavored pudding. Have you marinated with Dr. Pepper?
I make a Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce, and I use that Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce on a lot of things. I love it on my ribs. I love it on pulled pork. It's really good on chicken.
I make a marinade with root beer, but I've never tried.
I have done with root beer as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like the root beer. All right.
I make a call to a restaurant.
So what is the, do you prefer grilling or smoking? I see a lot of smoking posts on you.
I prefer smoking.
Slow and slow.
There's something about that process. My family thinks I'm nuts. Like,
is it all the alcohol drinking while it's happening, or is it?
No, because I don't drink actually. So you know, it's just the Dr. Pepper. But
why the hell you smoke?
There's something about sitting outside under the stars all night long in complete peace and quiet, and maybe that's just a byproduct of being the only guy in a house with my wife and 4 daughters.
Yeah,
but I just find,
I don't know,
right? There's something very relaxing about just sitting out there all night, maintaining a fire, and you know, smoking a brisket or whatever.
See, for me, it was because of my drug addictions and being a pyromaniac. But I've solved those through therapy, which is all good. What do you like to smoke the most? Like, what is your, if you had a go-to
indica
meat? No, not indica. If you had a go-to meat to smoke, what would it be?
I love doing, I mean, we call them dino ribs. I don't know what the official term is, but beef ribs. Okay. I love doing beef ribs, like not the back rib, although beef back ribs are fantastic as well. But those ones that as they smoke and get more tender and they pull away from the bone and they just like, it looks like something right out of the freaking Flintstones. I love doing those, and I don't do it often because of how expensive they are here. But a tomahawk steak.
Oh, they're expensive everywhere.
Tomahawk steak on fire. Like it's got to be fire though. Don't give me no stinking gas grill, no pellet smoker. Like I do those on the Oklahoma Joe, real stick burner, actual cherry wood, smoke them for about 2 hours and then throw it right straight over the fire to sear it off at the end. And you get that flavor, you get that little bit of char from doing it straight on the fire. And it's like, the first time I did it, it was terrifying because I'm like, this is literally the most expensive steak that I've ever cooked in my entire life. And if I screw this up, it's really going to suck. But Father's Day, sometimes that's my thing. I go and get myself a tomahawk. And
it's Father's Day. Leave me alone. I'm grilling.
And here's the other thing. If you're going to do a tomahawk,
I agree,
but you can't eat the tomahawk, then we can't be friends.
Ever.
Like if you're cooking a 2.5 pound tomahawk and then you're like, oh, I got 3 meals out of it. No. You're going to sit your butt down and you're going to eat that 2.5 pound tomahawk.
Grab the bone.
That bone better be clean by the time dinner is done.
You eat until you hate yourself. That is
yes,
how we've
absolutely.
all grown
You're
up.
puke your face off later, but who cares? In the moment,
there are
it was
starving
heaven.
children around the world, and if you don't eat it all, your grandmother's going to be very disappointed in you.
But you have to save room for the Dr. Pepper flavored pudding.
We have a new entry. How about a flan? A Dr. Pepper
flan?
Well, hold on. We're not there yet. A smoked banana pudding. Yeah. And where's the flan? The flan. Dr. Pepper. Here we go.
Dr. Flan.
Yes. May there be mercy on the person who tries this. All right, let's talk about the meat sweats.
It's a smoke at Tres Leches. Meat sweats. All right.
Let's talk about the meat sweats.
All right, here. I got something. Meat sweats. Have you ever been to a Brazilian steakhouse?
I have.
Hallelujah.
Holy
my God.
Non-stop.
Canada
God's greatest gift to restaurants.
Green up
you
all
have-
the time.
Okay. Yeah. Oh my God.
It's
I want
always
to feel. If you want to hate yourself in a true American and worldly fashion at the same time,
Yeah.
you go to a Brazilian steakhouse and just eat every mid-grade piece of meat you could possibly.
I don't
jam
think
into your
Mike
gullet.
has ever said, catch me on the next time around.
Only after I'm physically going to need to be carried out. Yeah, it's bad.
A couple of years ago, my brother-in-law was down for a visit, and he had never been to one before. And there's actually a really, really nice. There's actually 2 Brazilian grills in Niagara Falls, Ontario. And so one of them is called Copacabana, and they actually have like 13 different kinds of meat on the menu, or at the time anyway, they had like 13 different kinds of meat. And so I was like, I'm gonna take you here, and I'm gonna change your life. So he was not prepared.
Oh,
Ah,
geez.
Now,
be
look,
ready.
Wow, you
I'm
got to
not
be
a
ready.
big guy. Okay, I'm not a big guy, but if I'm gonna spend $75 a person, I'm gonna eat my money's worth. Like, you're not making anything off of me, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So then my brother-in-law is like taking it as a personal insult that I'm eating more than him. So
I love it.
so
I love it.
challenge is on at this point, right?
Nice.
By the time we were done, both of us were going to die. Like, like we literally hurt so bad. And my wife and sister-in-law, you know, they want to take a walk and see some of the falls or whatever. So we're like crawling in tears.
Yeah, not
And-
happening.
No, what?
And we walk past this ice cream place. And they're making the waffle cones. Like, they're actually right there at the window making the waffle cones. And that smell of a fresh, you know, made waffle cone is wafting out. And I look at my brother-in-law and I'm like, I dare you. He's like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm like, you are such a wuss.
I double
I go
dipped
get
you.
an ice cream cone, right? I go get the ice cream cone. I know this is it. This is how I'm going to die. And I figure that's okay. It's not a bad
Actually
way to
went
go,
into
right?
a coma about 15 minutes later, right?
But he sees me, so then he's got to go get it too, right? So then he goes and gets the ice cream. I have the funniest pictures. If I had known we were going to talk Brazilian girls, I would have pulled these pictures up. I have the funniest pictures of him. We're driving home from Niagara Falls, and he's sitting in the back seat of my truck, and he's just sitting there like,
Yeah.
like
It's a good pain though.
Okay.
we
now-
had to
like a
stop
job
halfway
well done.
home. We had to stop halfway home at a Husky.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not going to tell you what happened, but I will let you use your
No,
imagination.
enough said. Enough said.
It
Mark,
was
I
a
like it.
massacre.
I like Mark, when you get to that point where you're eating that much and then you're suddenly like, you're kind of short on breath. You're like, I don't know.
it's
I don't know.
pushing on your
All right.
lungs. Ugh, yeah, I
You're
get
just sitting
you.
But let
there
me tell
like, blood pressure 223 over 140, and you know you're just,
I got to tell you though, I'll be honest with you. I'd do it again tomorrow.
Attaboy.
Hell yeah.
Now,
Hell yeah.
Mark, you seem like a younger guy than 50. So I'm just curious. What is your first colonoscopy going to look like? How much meat do you have impacted in your bowels?
There's going to be a bit. There's going to be a
37
bit.
pounds.
Talk about blood sausage. All right, hold on.
God, what?
All right. Next.
Let's
That
get
is-
back to VO. How's that sound? DF
wow.
Raisin has a question for you, Mark. Aside from social media and website, what are the other ways for new voice actors to self-market?
I think that there's a lot of opportunities in in-person networking. If you are somebody who is comfortable with that side of it, if you're which I am not, because I am, like I said, I'm a hermit basically. But I know some voice actors who are doing some in-person networking stuff and who are really making it work for them.
Yeah.
Because that's their personality, right? They crave that connection and being able to talk to somebody face to face. And I think if you think about a networking event, a chamber of commerce event, or a small business association event, or some sort of entrepreneurs event, or something like that, odds are probably pretty high that you're the only voice actor in the room.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you're going to be marketing, I mean, I'm okay with those odds. I would take those odds. I think the other thing, and it goes right along with it, is we all do the voiceover conferences, and I love going to voiceover conferences. But have you ever thought about going to an e-learning conference? Have you ever thought about going to an audiobook conference where the publishers are at? Have you ever
a video
thought about
game
going
indie
to
developer conference?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because same thing, I'm going to bet the odds are pretty high that you're one of, if not the only voice actors in the room at that point.
I was talking with Cliff Zellman, and I missed it this year because of medical stuff, but they have the Automobile Association convention, whatever it is. It was in New Orleans this past year, but it's all the dealerships and all the parts places. It's not voice actors. So how many voice actors you think might be there?
Yep.
You know, so if you're into the automotive too. Mike, you had a question for Mr. Scott.
Oh yeah, that was up there a while ago.
It's up here now. You can read it off the screen.
There we go. It's the phrases. There we are. So how are you navigating the business in the current economic climate? You know, the tariffs, exchange rates, governments yelling at each other, people refusing to do business with Americans, things like that. How's that impacting you? How are you kind of dealing with that? Or is it even impacting you at all?
It's a good time to be Canadian. For the most part, people still like us.
Have you seen The Handmaid's Tale?
What I would say about the tariffs and all of that sort of stuff, I mean, thankfully we are service providers. And so up to this point, anyway, obviously things are changing minute by minute. Has anybody checked their Twitter lately? But at this point, the tariffs are not on service providers. So, you know, that's a plus. We don't specifically have to deal with tariffs as far as it's not going to impact us directly. Now, could it be impacting the people that we're doing voiceover for? Potentially. I do know that, well, my understanding is that Canadians working in the U.S. are not having as hard of a time right now as Americans who are trying to work in Canada. Canada, for, you know, whatever their reasons. And look, I'm not a big fan of the whole 51st state thing either, but I still love America and just, you know, want to hang out with all you guys.
How do you feel about the Gulf of America?
I feel like I've never swam in it. That's it, but I'd love to get some shrimp. I just think for now, first of all, if you're an American working with Canadian clients, I don't know why you would be doing that anyway, because as we've already clearly established, the dollar is absolute crap. And so it is actually not to your advantage at this point. But I don't know. I was really worried in the beginning because I really did think that I thought it was going to impact a lot harder than it did. When everything first kind of hit the fan there, with the initial tariff talks and the whole Governor Trudeau and 51st state and all of that sort of stuff, and Canada was really being portrayed as an enemy. I did have some people cancel coaching with me because all of a sudden, you know, because it was said that Canada's evil, then I must be evil because I'm a Canadian. And so I did have people cancel coaching. I did have people cancel classes. I mean, I'm not going to argue with anybody about it.
These people met you?
Yeah, they've coached with me previously. But that's how it works, right? If you follow a leader and the leader says a thing, then the thing must be true. And so I was worried that might have an impact on the voiceover side. I haven't seen it yet. So I'm hoping that it's not at this point. I do think that there are a lot of companies right now that are really afraid to spend money. And understandably so, because is it a 145% tariff? Is it a 90% tariff? Is it a 10% tariff? Is it a 0% tariff? Are the tariffs on or the tariffs off? Are the tariffs on this thing or are they on that thing or are they on all the things? And so there's a lot of companies that just have no idea what to do right now. And they're kind of just waiting to see how that's going to play out. So has that impacted some budgets? Probably. Has that impacted some spend? Probably. Do I think that if we get to a point where there is a resolution to all of this, that the floodgates could potentially open? I think that's possible too. So I want to be more prepared for that. I would rather be focused more on that than whatever the crap is going on in the day-to-day right now, because I don't think any of us have any solutions for that.
No.
So let's stay here for a second. On one of your recent podcasts, you had Tina Morosco on. So let's talk about the optimism that she brought forth during your interview.
Yep. Yeah, she said that they've been busier than this is one of their busiest. Well, at the time, she said it was one of the busiest Aprils that they've ever had. And that was actually genuinely surprising to me because historically, when there is the risk of recession, one of the very first things that companies stop doing is spending money on advertising. And with the amount of uncertainty that is going on right now around what products they can get, where those products are going to come from, how much those products are going to cost, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, it stands to reason that there would be hesitation on advertising. But what actually seems like is going on right now is the exact opposite, where people are just trying to get us to spend money anyway. Just like forget all that noise and just go spend your money anyway. And so, I mean, Tina did say that for them, and that's obviously just one agency, right? But I think if they're doing all right, I think it stands to reason that there are some others that are doing all right as well. And I mean, when she said that, it made sense because when I stopped and thought about it, I was like, okay, yeah, you know what? Actually, I did see a lot of agent auditions in April, a lot more than I had seen in January and February and maybe even into March. So, you know, does that continue? Be nice. We're also coming into summer.
Yeah.
Traditionally, there's a little bit of a slowdown there too. So
Are these American agents with the interviews, with the auditions, or is this Canadian agents?
I was seeing it on both sides. I was seeing it from my, I got 2 U.S. agents and I've got 1 Canadian agent, and I was seeing it on both sides.
Because I know talking to my Canadian agent, she said, you know, hey, a lot of these people, the local, are asking for Canadians only.
Yes,
at this point,
that
which
is
I
true.
understand. Yeah,
That is
All right,
true.
let's go back to talking about the meats and stuff like that. Why not? I mean,
political crap,
enough of this
tariffs and
this bullshit with politics and crap.
What's the beef with America?
Yeah, come on. Why are we all going to get porked over this?
Hard
Brandon's-
8 when you go to Dallas. Okay, that's it. Hard 8 when you're in Dallas.
All right.
That's the
That's the
place.
Hard 8?
Hard 8.
Good to know.
Okay. What does that
I've
cost
been there.
per person?
Fantastic.
Is that a
I
lot?
don't remember. It was a while ago.
Because
but
I
it
saw
was
this
glorious.
glorious.
When you pull
Glorious.
up, it's right at it's right at a very busy intersection. It's right on the corner of a very busy intersection. When you pull
Okay.
up, it's like you're driving into morning fog on the ocean. Like you can't see the other lanes, you can't see the other cars. You can
Yeah.
barely make out the stoplights, and it's because of the sheer amount of smoke that is just wafting
Oh,
from this barbecue place. And when you walk in and you hit that smell, like, yes, exactly. That was the perfect sound effect for that.
You know, I saw this post from Brandon, and I went to the Nordic.com. Soft drinks, coffee and tea, tax, and 10% service charge included. Maximum dining of 2 hours.
oh, nah. No maximum nothing.
Proper casual
No
attire is
maximum
required.
Nothing.
No
Terry's
tank
like, try to
tops.
throw me out.
Yeah, I'll be too heavy for you to lift up.
I'll tell you right now, Terry would not be there, nor would I, because
Even dead fish.
it's $140 a person, adult.
You know me well.
I know you well. There's no way that's happening.
$140.
I mean,
a
if
person.
it's like all you can eat Wagyu, I mean, you know, what are the circumstances, right?
It
But
depends. You know what? No, the circumstances
You gotta
I've
throw
had
drink-
a half a bottle of
you gotta
scotch.
There
Yeah,
you go. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
it'll
saying.
happen.
Yeah.
Stupid.
All right,
things
one
happen
more
then.
off-topic question.
I'm
Mark.
going to bring my own appetite with me. That's all.
There are no topics. It's all about nothing, Terry.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about on frozen pond, Mark. What's your
on
prediction for
frozen
the Stanley?
pond.
Yes, what is your prediction for the Stanley Cup Finals?
A hockey team will win.
Yes, that is my
fact.
prediction. So I do not care about hockey. Like I literally do not care
legal?
about hockey.
Wow.
I know I might not.
All right.
And
No
people
wonder-
genuinely question my Canadianness.
I was going to say.
But when the Leafs got into the finals, my best friend, it's been my best friend for 20 some odd years. He is like, he bleeds blue, right? And so I got a pretty decent tax return this year. So I it's like 6:00 at night, I call him and I'm like, you want to go to the game? And it was round 2, game 1. I'm like, you want to go to the game? And he's like, shut up, don't do this to me. Why you got to be so mean? I'm like, no, seriously, do you want to go to the game? And he's like, I'm I'm like, Mark, meet me in 15 minutes. I just bought tickets. The game starts at 7:30. Let's go. And so I bought tickets. Now, you got to understand, for the Maple Leafs, we're sitting in the nosebleeds. If we were any further back, we would have kind of been on the roof outside. And these tickets are like, I was going to buy a new smoker with my tax return, but now I'm not getting a smoker. Okay. Like,
Wow.
That's why you were fixing your old one.
Did they at least win the game?
so they won the game.
All right.
I came home from that game, though, with the most violent ringing in my ears that I've ever had, to the point where 3 days later it was still hurting. And I actually had to go to the walk-in clinic to get checked out. And I was like, so help me, if I just destroyed my hearing going to a stupid hockey game when I don't even like hockey. Fortunately, it ended up that it was not eardrum damage. It was something different. But what an experience. I will tell you, even as someone who is not a hockey fan, being in person at a playoff game, like, even if you don't like hockey, that environment is just... Now I understand why J. Michael goes to so many of them, because the environment is crazy.
Oh, it really is.
And he's also super rich. So there's that.
Too,
I mean, there's that too. I'm not, so I can't. This is I took my friend to a playoff game. Probably about 3 years ago, and so it's one of those things with the Leafs where it's happens every 60 years or whatever, and so when those rare opportunities come, when they actually make it to the playoffs, you actually have to go, and because it might be another couple decades before it happens again, type deal.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're actually at the top of the hour, but if you don't mind hanging on for a couple more minutes, two more questions. One off topic, and then one to wrap it up. Off topic.
Has there been an actual topic? For
we talked.
No I'm telling you, there's no topic.
We told you we're off the rails.
Talked about.
Can you go off topic when there really isn't one?
All right. So a different topic. Is it Canadian with an A or Canadian with an E? And the reason why I ask is because Manchester, New Hampshire is a French-Canadian town, city. And their Canadian club is spelt with an E at the end, like I-E-N instead of I-A-N for Canadian and Canadian. Is there a difference? Is there a reason?
I think that would be the French spelling. I think that's why. I think that'd be the French spelling.
So you're guessing.
Canadian and Cantadian. Right?
Can't-adian.
Yeah.
All right, hold on a second. This is actually on brand, I'll say, for you, not for us.
So we're going back to barbecue.
Nope, we're going back to marketing, Mark.
It could be about barbecue. It depends on how you interpret this question.
Exactly. All right, what is the direction you're planning to focus most on barbecuing in 2026? What the hell? It's our show.
I need to make it through 2025 first, but I'm at a point now where I've gotten really clear about the type of voiceover work that I want to do. And I am also at a point where I have a little bit more flexibility to pursue that. I don't have to take all of the other stuff to keep the lights on like I used to have to do. And not that I don't have a problem with any of that work. It's just that I needed to be able to put time into my schedule to be able to pursue the stuff that I really wanted to be able to pursue.
Now, did you find that genre, or did that genre find you?
I've always been, so e-learning has probably been one of my main genres for a really long time. And the biggest reason for that is I'm a student. I love learning. I love, sit me down with a script on the latest whatever in cybersecurity, and I just find it fascinating. And I genuinely do enjoy it. And if I'm going to sit down on the rare occasion that I have a few minutes to sit down and, turn on Netflix or whatever, I'm going to flip on a documentary. I just find those real stories so much more interesting than the not real stories. And so I will just continue to move in that direction until I get a show. That's it. That's the thing for me, is until I get a show. And then I would say, I couple that with the other thing that I keep saying, which is my other goal is just to make as much money as humanly possible, as long as it is possible to make money as a human. Because I don't know what AI is going to do.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know if it's 10 years or 20 years or 2 years, or I don't know. And I don't want to think about it every day.
Yeah.
I don't want to stress about it every day. So I just want to focus on doing the work that I love and making money while I'm doing it.
DF Raisin had a very astute comment to make before we leave tonight. A Canadian not into hockey is almost like a Marylander that doesn't like crabs. Last time I had crabs, man, it was... Sorry. Wrong one. Mark, before we go and before we release you into the great white North Wild, little speed round questions for you. Two or three word answers. Mike, Terry, I'm not sure if you guys prepared for this. If not, I've got a whole list here. If you guys want to speak
Oklahoma
up, speak
Joe, real cherry wood, brisket, 18 hours. Was there any other questions?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's
All
our
right,
show
thanks.
for the night.
That's our show, guys. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Mark, favorite day of the week?
Favorite day of the week? Tuesday.
Favorite holiday that's not Boxing Day?
There's others.
Obviously, I'm going to say Christmas. I mean, if anybody knows me, they know that I'm a Christmas guy. That was an easy answer.
All right. Book or documentary?
Ooh, come on. That's not even fair.
That's not fair.
That's not fair. That's not a fair question. I'm probably going to take a book, though. Nonfiction.
Fill in the blank. Taylor Swift is...
A singer.
Fair enough.
Mac or PC?
Oh, Mac, all the way.
Oh, he's a Mac dude.
Nice. That is an easy answer. By all means.
All
Terry,
right.
Longtime shareholder. Please keep buying and funding my retirement.
there you go.
All right. Complete this sentence. The future of voiceover looks like...
Acting.
Bam. All right. Is it my turn or
If
yours,
you-
Mike? Fed.
I'll go.
Fed.
If you can't pick Dr. Pepper, what will you pick?
If I can't pick Dr. Pepper, what will I pick? Pop Shop Black Cherry.
I've never even heard
cherries.
of that.
That's like
solid.
black.
That's
Mark
because I think it's a
stuff.
Canadian thing. I
Wow.
think it's a Canadian thing.
Try to
Black cherry
smuggle
soda's
some over
good.
the border to Dallas, would you? I'd like to try that.
Yeah.
Scale of 1 to 10, Mark. How good of a driver are you?
How good of a driver am I? I'm a pretty good driver. I drove fire trucks at high speeds through traffic for many years. So I'm gonna give
Legally
myself an
or
8.
on the run?
Very, very legally. I don't want to get too cocky, but I'm going to give myself an 8 on that one.
Which is like a 4 in America. Okay, good. Terry?
After exchange and tariffs.
Brisket or beef rib?
Brisket or beef ribs? Beef ribs.
Yeah. Mike.
If you
That is
had
the
to move
correct
to
answer.
Northwest Territory or New Jersey, which would you pick?
Wow.
Jeez.
God.
Are you coming for Jersey?
I'm coming hard.
Coming hard for Jersey, dude.
I mean, right now, are we talking like in the current political climate?
Tomorrow.
It's an open.
Tomorrow.
I mean, all things considered.
The amount of paperwork that I would have to go through to relocate to Jersey, I think I might have to say. I actually think the Northwest Territories would be a really cool place to visit. Genuinely, I would love to vacation there. I don't know that I would want to live there, though.
So, no comment.
New Jersey
No
has good
thanks, I'll just
bagels.
They do
And
have good
Uncle Roy.
bagels. Uncle Roy's
This
there
is true.
too.
This is
All
true.
right, one more from me. Is it wrong for a vegetarian to eat animal crackers?
That's a very profound ethical question.
Tune in tomorrow on Mark Scott's podcast where he'll answer the question.
I think the answer is yes. I think
Yes.
the answer is yes. I think there's an implied abuse there.
Implied
Perfect.
abuse. Our next podcast.
Implied abuse.
That's perfect.
Speaking of band names,
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Mark, thanks for joining us, man. We really appreciate you being a part of our bubble here that happens every other week.
this was highly unexpected and thoroughly entertaining.
I think fellow Canadian, no, actually it was Jessica Blue. Jessica
yeah, by
Blue
the-
said it was the most entertaining podcast she's ever been on. Has she been on your
Yes.
podcast, Mark?
She has not, and I don't know
That's
that I can
probably
have
why.
her now because I think you guys probably ruined it. I think the bar has been set, and I am not coming.
It's a low
I got
bar.
nothing. I
Yeah.
cannot even approach that bar.
Wait
It's
till
a
about 2 a.m.
low-ass bar.
About 2 a.m. the bar will be empty with Mike and
Yeah.
Terry. So
I
come
need to
back
get
around
all of the guests before you guys do, because after they've done your show, my show is going to feel boring as whale snot. Nobody's going to want to come on it. Like,
Mark, thanks a lot again, man. Looking forward to seeing you in Dallas, and also thank you for being a part of the Insider. And we talked earlier, Mark's going to be part of our Christmas in July giveaway this year, which is
Awesome.
great. Mark does
Awesome.
his own 12 days of Christmas giveaway thing. Want to give
12
a quick
voiceover
plug?
gifts of Christmas.
That's
yeah.
it. 12 voiceover gifts of Christmas.
I actually look forward to that every year.
Beautiful family event. I love it since
really
for the
is.
last 4 years. I love it, man.
Yep.
I just want to know when the girl's going to throw it down to see who draws next, because that little one's
We
getting
do
pretty
need a
big.
little bit more violence for Christmas.
Did you
I mean,
see
that's-
on the broadcast this year? I didn't even catch it. My mom told me afterwards. She's like, "Did you see when Kaylee threw her cowboy boot at Lily?" And I'm like, "No, I did not see that." She's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, it's partway through the show. Kaylee took her cowboy boots off and just chucked them right at Lily's head." And so my mom went back through the video and found the timestamp for it and sent it to me. And I was like, holy crap. I was so wrapped up in what was going on. I didn't even know that my kids are sitting right behind me. My
amazing.
4-year-old is chucking cowboy boots at my 12-year-old's head.
You should go back
On
to
my
it and be like,
wholesome
video
family
proof
Christmas
you're grounded
show.
retroactively.
I love it. Gotta love it.
Mark, again, thanks a lot, man. We'll see you in Dallas, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you,
You're
guys.
welcome to hang around. We'll put you in the green room for a bit. We're just going to wrap things up here. If not, again, thank you so much. Really appreciate
I appreciate you having me on. Thank you so much.
it. All right, guys, time for us to wrap things up. Remember, we do have our TMI Dallas scholarship, OVC scholarship going on. Nice little graphic here. It will be up on the website really soon, probably tomorrow. I will send out a mailer if you're part of our marketing. I don't want to say email club anymore. It sounds so
Oh,
old.
my email club.
Email
Email.
club.
No, we're definitely gonna call it email club.
We have a forum, and we'll make a post on the forum, and then you will be moderated, and we'll determine if you're allowed.
All
to
right,
post
guys,
there as
check
well.
out the TMI MySpace account tomorrow.
Yep.
As long as I can figure out how to upload
My
stuff
friend,
to it.
listen, and if you're still
On
using
America
Friendster,
Online.
we post there quarterly.
Yeah, AOL. You've got mail. Don't forget about our workshops coming up with Malik, Kristen, and Jessica. TheMicrophoneInsider.com. Get your tickets right there. Coming up next week, guys. It's kind of messed up. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. I don't know what to say about it. We're supposed to have Vanessa Richardson on with us, and she got a gig. She's going to be filming and doing things.
Hell yeah.
So in 2 weeks, it's probably going to be a Ask TMI Anything. We'll probably talk
Oh, shit.
about Mike's.
Terry. Can we get drunk on air?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we're gonna do that.
All right, we're not going to book anybody. This is going to be the TMI We're Too Drunk to Drive Ask Us Anything edition.
Yes.
Okay, we're going
You
to
heard it
start
here
drinking at 4:00, mandatory as a group together. And
Okay.
then you ask us anything you want.
Holy
we will not be
shit.
driving.
That's gonna be fun.
That's going to be insane. It really is.
Oh,
All right, guys, we
no.
have to go. We're out. So
Yeah.
we'll see you in a few.
Wait, what time? God.
It's
I-
8:12. I know, Mike. It's so past your bedtime.